One of the strongest unspoken languages there are out there is energy. Energy is one of those things that you can walk into a room and people will already start forming an opinion of you based off of the vibe that they give off. And think to any time where you've been in a circumstance and no matter what, like the person was presentable, the person spoke well, but the comment that you gave back to your friend after was like, I don't know, their vibe just felt off. Well, that's the unspoken language of energy. And energy is so important, and this is why some people in life do the same thing, they do all the steps that they need to accomplish the success in that area, but get a completely different result compared to someone who did all the same steps, but their energy behind it was different, right? They recorded the videos, they did the marketing, they did the service fulfillment, but they just did it from this place of, oh yeah, I'm just doing the steps to get it done and hit the goal. Whereas the other person's doing it from a place of, hey, I'm showing up to help. I'm here to give you value. When I can approach with a different energy, it will get received at an entirely different level. And if you can look at parts of your life where you felt confused why it didn't work for you, it's most likely because of energy. Energy is the unspoken language. Last night, I went to a dinner. And it was very interesting. You know, I wasn't really saying anything special. I was just there. I was with my friend Craig. We met some other guy as well, a really cool guy. And two things happened at the end of that dinner. Firstly, I was standing as everyone was saying bye. One person goes up to me and he says, you know what? You have a great energy about you. I wonder what life's going to do with that. Literally, like he says that. That's the first thing. I'm like, thank you. You know, obviously received it well. He goes... And then I go up to the guy that I spoke and him and his partner, and the partner just goes, you have this very deep gaze. You just stare into people's souls like you can truly understand them. And this is nothing crazy that I did. Right? This happened in like the span of 5 minutes from each other. But it just goes to show that the energy that you have, how you show up, will determine people's experience of you. And based on people's experience of you, your entire outlook on life and the things that you receive through life will completely shift and change accordingly. And this is the beautiful, beautiful thing. If you can show up enthusiastic and not dim your light, which is another thing that we spoke about. If you can show up as enthusiastic and not dim your light, you will attract. You just will. Enthusiasm is something that can easily get shunned nowadays. And I remember I was talking to one of the guys and we're like, man, there are times in my life where I was so enthusiastic that everything just worked out. But there were also times in my life where I allowed other people's opinions of judgment of that enthusiasm allow me to dim my own light. That childlike enthusiasm and excitement behind things. And on a subconscious level, sometimes we take in thoughts of, oh, that's a bit excessive, that's a bit extreme. And then we don't actually go ahead and allow ourselves to have that enthusiasm behind something because we don't want to come off as weird about it, right? Oh, that's a bit too much, huh? It's a bit over your pay grade. But that enthusiasm that you put behind something is what's going to attract life on a completely different level. And that is why some people do the exact same actions as another person and get completely different results. It was the energy behind them. So some of the easiest ways to think about this is to visualize how you want to feel, what that person would do, how they would act from that place. And then you embody it and act through that in your current moment. And if you can keep living through this filter, over time you will habituate enthusiasm. You will habituate it because it's a choice. We can choose to be enthusiastic or not. And a lot of people might want to rely on, well, you know, my life isn't one to be enthusiastic about. Well, I wonder why. It's probably a byproduct to a degree of your approach to it. So if you can choose to step into enthusiasm regardless of what is happening around you, watch how things will start to change because the change externally stems from the first internal change that you have. The only difference is that there is a slight time delay between what shows out here and what showed in here. But everything right now in your current circumstance that you're experiencing out here was a reflection of what you were feeling in here in the perceived past. It was a time delay. But everything around you has been your creation. It has. And you can say, well, that's easy for you to say, right? My circumstance is hard, it's challenging, it's tough. It's still a byproduct of you, because sometimes the energy you put into a circumstance has created the environment that you need to then thrive. And if you perceive it as negative, and even those things that are giving you the experience of the negativity have been set up for you to experience the equal and opposite reaction. Without the lows, you can't experience the highs. So you bless it all. And you take ownership of all of it. You say, hey, yes, this was because of me, because now I'm going to experience the complete opposite end of the spectrum. And for that very reason that I've experienced this low right now, my experience will be so much more fulfilling. It's like people who were born into poverty versus people born into wealth. People who are born into poverty and made wealth, their experience of that wealth is so much more fulfilling. So take ownership of everything and recognize that if you want change out here, it starts from in here. And take on the energy and the enthusiasm of the person that you want to be and watch your life change.